Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle something that feels like pure magic: how computers are learning to understand images. This tech is behind everything from your phone's camera to self-driving cars. We are breaking down convolutional neural networks.
Okay, so let's start with a really simple question. You and I can glance at a photo and boom, we know it's a cat. It's instant, it's intuitive. But how in the world do you teach a machine, a thing that only understands ones and zeros, to do the same thing? That's the fundamental puzzle we're going to solve.
And the crazy part? The solution is basically copied from our own brains. See, we don't just see cat all at once. Our brain builds it up, right? It sees edges, then textures, then maybe an eye or a whisker, and then it puts it all together. Well, a CNN does something spookily similar. It starts with the raw pixels and, piece by piece, assembles them into something that has actual meaning.
So let's really get into it. Let's look at the core idea that makes this specific type of network so incredibly good at understanding the visual world.
A convolutional neural network, or CNN for short, is special for one big reason. It doesn't just take an image and flatten it into a long, meaningless list of pixels. No, it gets that a pixel's neighbors matter. It keeps the image's structure, its height, its width, which is where all the real information is. To really get how CNNs work their magic, you gotta know their toolkit. It really just comes down to three main building blocks. When you put them together in the right way, you can actually teach a computer how to see. First up, and honestly, this is the star of the show, the convolution layer. I want you to think of this layer like a team of tiny detectives, and each one is looking for one very specific clue in the picture.
So here's the play-by-play. The network uses this little grid called a filter, and that filter is trained to spot just one thing, let's say a vertical line. Then that little filter slides over every single part of the image, from top to bottom, left to right, and every time it finds a match, it makes a mark. The result is a whole new image called a feature map, which is basically a treasure map showing exactly where all the vertical lines are.
And this whole approach is just brilliant for two reasons. First, if a filter learns what a cat's ear looks like in the top left corner, it can find that same ear anywhere else in the picture. That's a fancy term called translation invariance. Second, because it's just reusing that one little filter over and over, the network has way fewer things it needs to learn. It's so much more efficient than older methods.
Okay, so our detectives have found a bunch of features, but are they all useful? The next step is to decide what's important, and that's the job of the ReLU layer. Think of it as a really simple on or off switch. Now, ReLU stands for Rectified Linear Unit, but don't let the name scare you. Its job is dead simple. It looks at every number on our feature map and follows one rule. If the number is positive, great, keep it. If it's negative, just turn it into a 0. That's it. It's basically just filtering out all the weak signals and saying, hey, let's only focus on the stuff that really stands out.
And that brings us to our final building block, the pooling layer. So, we found our features, we've filtered them for importance. Now we need to kind of summarize things to make them easier to handle. This layer is like the cleanup crew.
The most common type is called max pooling, and it's super straightforward. It looks at a small little window of the feature map, finds the single biggest, most important signal in that window, and it keeps only that one. Everything else, it gets tossed. The result is a much smaller, more manageable map that still has all the most important information. And simplifying like this has some huge payoffs. For one, it makes everything run way faster. It also stops the network from doing something called overfitting, which is basically when it just memorizes the training pictures, noise and all, instead of learning the actual patterns. And it makes the whole system tougher, so it can still recognize an object, even if it's moved around a little bit.
Okay, so we've got our three core tools: convolution, ReLU, and pooling. Now, they're neat on their own, but the real magic, the genius of it all, is what happens when we stack them on top of each other to build a deep network. So check this out. The first few layers, they learn to see really simple stuff, basic lines, edges, maybe some color blobs. Then the middle layers take those lines and edges and start combining them into more complex shapes and textures, like a circle or the pattern of fur. And then finally, the really deep layers assemble those shapes to recognize things we understand, like an eye, a nose, or even a whole face. And that right there, that's the secret sauce. This step-by-step hierarchical learning, where each layer builds on the one before it. That is what gives a CNN its incredible power. It's how a machine starts to actually understand what it's looking at. So the network has done all this amazing work. It's found lines and shapes and faces. But how does it make that final call? How does it go from all that evidence to saying, yep, that's a cat? Well, at the very end of the line, all of those rich, detailed feature maps get squashed. They're flattened out into one giant, single list of numbers. And this list represents all the high-level clues the network has gathered. It then feeds that list into a more traditional neural network layer that weighs all the evidence and makes the final prediction.
And the output isn't just a simple yes or no. It's actually way smarter than that. It gives you a list of probabilities. So the network might say, I'm 92% sure this is a cat, maybe 6% sure it's a dog, and like 2% sure it's a car. And based on those odds, it makes its final call, cat.
So why does any of this matter to you? Well, because this isn't science fiction. This technology is literally all around us. It's what unlocks your phone with your face. It's helping doctors spot diseases in x-rays. It's the eyes of self-driving cars. It has totally changed the game.
Look, if you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this: CNNs use that convolution process to automatically teach themselves a whole hierarchy of visual features, from lines to faces, all while never forgetting the original layout of the image. That's the whole idea in a nutshell.